We're working today on a 2013 Ford Fusion with a push to start feature. What's happening is the car seemed to, start up just fine and go for, take it for a drive, and then, out of nowhere, the car just wouldn't start. Owner had the car towed here, and then the tow truck driver was actually able to start the car and drive it off. And then I started working on it and took it for a test drive. Everything was fine. It started just fine. Came back to the house, did some things inside, came back out, and then it wouldn't start again. So chase things down. Essentially what's happened is hit the push to start button. Everything seems fine, but you hit the push to start button and there's just no response whatsoever. Typically, the first thing you do is make sure that your batteries in the remote are good and that the remote is communicating with the car. But there was no problem there. Also, another thing is to make sure that it's not a problem with the starter or with the starter relay. Again, definitely wasn't a problem because the lock and unlock function was working just fine on the car, and I could even remote start the car. Hit the lock button. This car actually has a remote start feature, and the remote start was working just fine. But the actual push to start button was doing nothing, getting no signal. Normally, if you press the button without pressing the brake, it'll say a display comes up saying, "Hey, step on the brake pedal," but nothing. So ultimately, what I found out is there's a power panel just up against the battery over here. Is this power panel right here, and this fuse right here, it's a 50 amp fuse. This one right here is the one that actually controls that circuit and powers that circuit. And apparently these fuses are sort of known for I guess you might say mechanical failure of the fuse, and I'll show you here exactly what I mean. This fuse right here, these metal tabs they actually have a little bit of wiggle to them. And now if you watch that meter, I've got the meter set up for continuity. Hopefully I can repeat it over here. I'll go ahead and touch the tabs over here, and you see no continuity. But if I wiggle it, see that? Push it around, you see that meter jump? Continuity, no continuity. And that's just by wiggling these tabs around. So therein lies the problem. Continuity, no continuity, depending on how you wiggle these tabs. And so we're going to go ahead and change out this fuse, $4 at O'Reilly's, and we'll be good to go. And again, now just to kind of explain the process here, you have to remove the air filter cover, pop these tabs back. These has little Christmas tree prongs in here. You got to yank those back first and pop all this out. To get the air box out, you have to remove unplug the mass airflow sensor, unscrew the boot over here, pop up the little retaining flap over here, which releases this snorkel for the air filter, and then there's a rubber holder over here and over here. That's for the bottom half of the air cleaner, which you of course just yank up on it really hard, and that pops up. There were 4 screws holding the cover over the air cleaner base, so 4 screws off the air cleaner base. Remove this pipe, yank up on the base, and that gives you the access to this panel. And I will go ahead and screw this all back together, and we'll verify that the old push to start works. All right, as you can see, I've got the replacement fuse screwed in there. The old one was red, the new one is black. It really, the color of the fuse really has no bearing on it. But just for your information, I'm going to try and hold this up and get a focus. This is the part that I purchased at O'Reilly's. Again, it was like $50, $4. They didn't have it in stock, but they got it in the same day. Little fuse, I believe that's OMID050. There's maybe a better shot on the back over here, the OMI D050.XP. All right, now we'll connect that battery. Yeah, other thing to mention, good idea to go ahead and while you're unscrewing this fuse, go ahead and at least pop the positive terminal off of the battery while you're messing around with that, so you don't short circuit anything. All right, we still have the dashboard apart over here because I was started by testing voltage on the back of the push to start switch, but I'll put that together in a couple of minutes. Just for I guess just for your knowledge, sorry about the air compressor running in the background, but if you need to remove this whole panel over here, what you need to do is you pop up the shifter cover over here. There are two Torx head screws right over here below them, and then this entire panel from here all the way down here and across the base of the dashboard. Drop the glove box. It's on these little push pins or clips. So you just give it a good tug, and that whole panel comes off. But again, we'll go ahead and give it the what we like to call the smoke test, and fires right up. Good to go. Again, just to review on the symptoms. So right now, if I hit the start button, it actually should give me a note saying press brake to start. So if you're not getting that, first check the remote, see that your remote start works, see that your doors lock and unlock. If they do, then I'd say the next thing to go to is more than likely that 50 amp fuse.